Hi, Ed Sliper again from Health Development. Thanks for tuning into this third clip. You know, being kinder to ourselves, making use of self-compassion. Boy, do we need this. In Northern Ireland, we tend to be our own worst critics. You make a mistake, you beat yourself up with a big stick. Now, that does more harm than good. So how do we be a bit kinder to ourselves? Now, we're recording this just like we're doing the other ones because we realized not everybody had time to come to the live session. So if they're recorded, you can watch this in your own time. This is one of five we're doing, but the same ground rules apply. We're not telling anybody what to do, but we do know self-compassion is a really helpful tool, an evidence-based tool. So we want to introduce it. But if you think it's for you, we want to point you to how you could do more of it and bring it into your life on a daily basis. Now, what we have, we're going to introduce you to self compassion. We have a booklet using self compassion to support growth and well being. Now, there's 8 exercises in the book. So, we're going to introduce you to a couple of those exercises, but maybe we need to look a little deeper at what is self compassion. Now, self compassion has 3 parts. It is the way we talk to ourselves. We talk to ourselves like you would a good friend. You wouldn't say the things you say to yourself to a good friend when they make a mistake or they're struggling. No, we really change the way we talk to ourselves with compassion and kindness. Now, the second part of self compassion, we recognize that human beings, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have weaknesses. We all make bad decisions. You make a mistake, doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you human. And the third part of self-compassion, this takes a bit of work to get into the habit of doing it. But you recognize your emotions in the here and now. You use mindfulness to bring yourself back to the present. Now, mindfulness is focusing all your attention on one thing to bring yourself and ground yourself back to the present, full circle back to the first one. And I really like this quote we put on the front of the booklet. A moment of self compassion can change your entire day. A string of such moments can change the course of your life. And Chris Garmer, one of the leaders in the field of self compassion, put that to us. Now, you might think self compassion, self indulgent, but fluffy. No, it's an evidence based way of working. There are over 1,600 articles out there talk about the evidence of using self compassion. And it's influenced a lot by the work of Paul Gilbert, that you might know of, who developed compassion focused therapy. Now, in the health service, one of our values is compassion. Well, we're compassionate to people we work with. What about being compassionate to ourselves? And what it tends to do for people, it increases not only our compassion for ourselves, but other people. People have lowered anxiety, depression, stress, emotional avoidance. It increases our feeling connected, with people around life satisfaction, happiness. And the gains, they're maintained over a year if you get into the habit, but there's a link between the amount of practice you use and the benefit you're going to get from it. So we're going to have to point to you to, okay, this is going to introduce it, but how do I keep it going if this is for me? Now, one of the things that we do know, and this comes back to the benefits of self-compassion, use self-compassion for 2 weeks. A little exercise every day, a couple times a day, every day for 2 weeks. Go back to the brain we talked about in the last clip. You strengthen that link between the amygdala, that smoke detector for threat, and the thinking part of the brain just in 2 weeks. 8 weeks. That's we know that brain plasticity. We literally can rewire our brain. Yeah, those pathways get cemented. Now, Rick Hanson, that we mentioned before, he says this. We tend to have with our negativity bias. We have a Velcro for the bad, but Teflon for the good. We got to work harder at bringing in the good. Now, he has a way of approaching this to, to increase that brain plasticity. He calls it heal. So when you use these exercises, have the positive experience if that's what it gives you, but enrich it. Stay with it for 30, 90 seconds and absorb it. Really let it sink in and link it. Name the benefits you're getting to your mind and body and emotions. And by linking it, you're embedded better in memory. That's going to all improve that change in brain plasticity. So some tools you might want to think about to get started. Now, it is learning how to breathe in a relaxed, mindful way. Relaxed, feet in the floor, aware of your body, and you're breathing out more than you're breathing in. A real challenge for some people is finding loving kind of phrases that don't work for them. Now, some of these phrases you might feel a bit wooden or robotic, and they got to be meaningful for you. They got to be a statement that when you believe, it's yeah, you agree, yeah, and you don't fight it. And the other thing we got to think about is when self-compassion is hard to do. You've been beating yourself up for a long time. The term they use is backdraft. Now, backdraft is a firefighting term. What happens when a fire is um, starved of oxygen and you all of a sudden let oxygen in? The fire blazes up. Same thing with all that negativity. That's like a fire starved of oxygen. All that negativity is there. You try to add a loving kindness phrase to yourself. No, that's like putting oxygen onto that fire. The negativity flares up. If that happens, it's normal. Recognize it for what it is, backdraft. That's normal, but keep going with this exercise. And what do firefighters do when they have backdraft? They'll poke a hole in the wall, they'll break a window, they'll let the oxygen in slowly. Same thing with this, but persevere, keep using it. So let's try a few exercises. And it's not about being perfect, it's about practice. Remember what I said there's a key to the amount you use it and the benefits you're going to get. But what brings that benefit is the effort you put into this. So if you start it and this is for you, it's up to you. But we really hope you keep it going. So let's just try a couple of exercises. Now, soles of your feet. Make yourself comfortable in the chair. Let your body sit back in the chair that you're comfortable. Take a good couple of deep cleansing breaths. And with your feet in the floor, really feel that connection. Your feet grounded on the floor. Where does your feet end? The floor begins. Is there a bit of tension, a bit of heat? Concentrate all your attention on the soles of your feet. And with some good deep breaths, picture the earth is holding you. It's grounding you. And while you're sitting with your feet firmly on the floor, sway your body back and forth. Feel your feet register that movement, but it's still connecting you to the earth. It's grounding you to the floor. It's incredible. Your body's moving, but you're grounded. Come back to sitting. Really concentrate all your attention on the soles of your feet. You're grounded. You're connected. You might want to say that to yourself. I'm not alone. I'm grounded to the earth. You might want to give yourself a loving kindness phrase. I'm okay. I'm grounded. And notice as you do that, your back might naturally straighten. Before you come into this exercise, let's use heel. Have what you've just experienced, but enrich it. Stay with it a few seconds. Absorb it. Really let it sink in. And put a name on the benefit you just got in your feelings, in your emotions, in your mind, your body. And before we come inside of this exercise, I'd like you to think about something. If you're concentrating on the soles of your feet, you're as far away as you possibly could be from any problems in your head. With a big, deep breath, I hope you got something from that. Now, there's other exercises in the book, and each exercise is as useful as the other. Now, in the last clip, we did the clenched fist exercise, so we're not going to do it again, but that puts your body in a mini fight or flight response, and you're able to use breathing in a relaxed manner, but hands on heart and soothing touch to come out of it. And another exercise in the book, and I really like this one because in Northern Ireland, we are not good at seeing our strengths. So we borrowed this from Bill Miller, the author of Motivational Interviewing. Characteristics of successful changers, just a list of strength words that gives you a little tool. What strengths got me through today? Got me through this situation? Got me through this week? Circle them, own them. And I'll say this: I've used this tool hundreds of times. I've never ever had the experience of somebody saying, "I don't see any." People always see strengths. We're just not good at noticing them. So I do hope self-compassion is something that you think, yeah, that could help me. Now, what we have, and we're going to be traveling around the trust with a poster, This poster has the 3 online resources. We have Bend Don't Break, I mentioned in the last clip. That's what we used for um, SMART training, stress management, resilient training. There's self-compassion. And both of those tools sits on a search website. But with that poster up, if you see it, you can bring your QR code or your phone up to the QR code and up it'll open. And also there's a link. We also have a resource for parents to help our kids deal with their big feelings. Now, a little caution about self-compassion. If you think about your kids, can you teach self-compassion to kids? Christian Neff and Chris Germer, the authors of Leaders in Self-Compassion, say no. Kids just see it as something else we're trying to plank on kids. Best way to teach it is to model it. And like I said, if we're going to be compassionate in our work with our service users, maybe the starting point is being compassionate to ourselves. So I really do hope that online resource gives you the visual tools, because yes, people can download the booklet. The booklet also sits on our Trust Your website under the Healthy Living tab. But by creating visual clips of the work and those 8 exercises, if you're not good at taking the information, reading, you can listen to them and watch it and join in. The only thing we will ask, if you use any of those online tools, please do the evaluation link, because how are we going to know it's helpful unless people tell us? Now, that's part of the support out there, but there's much, much more. And what Staff Wellbeing put out over the last couple of weeks is the support that's there for us all in the Southeastern Trust. And it's key that we make use of it earlier rather than later, rather than letting things get worse. So there's mindfulness courses. There's the Recovery College offers a whole range of resources for us all. Supportive conversations, whether it's psychological support, staff well-being, occupational health, coaching, how you get somebody beside you and can mentor you through your work. They're doing lunchtime seminars or lunchtime walks, and they're advertised on Live Well. And Live Well gives you a wealth of resources that can help us all look after our well-being. So I hope self-compassion is useful. Thanks for tuning into this. The next clip, we're going to be looking at supporting others under pressure. But there's a written detail of what we talked about here. But any feedback is greatly appreciated. So let Staff Wellbeing know, or drop myself an email. But we really hope you find this and the other clips helpful. Thanks very much for tuning in. Self-compassion, it's something I try to use on a regular basis. It's helpful, no question, it's helpful. But the evidence is there. I hope it's there for you. Thanks very much for tuning into this, and we'll see you on the next clip.